Big SEC guys, we're back. Week 4 is in the books, Joe. How you doing?
I am back to the land of the living. I was, uh, I was suffering last week with that COVID.
Not to do a HIPAA violation, but are you feeling better? You're
I
feeling
am
okay?
feeling much better. Got my stamina
Good.
back. Oop, sorry, just knocked my computer. Got my stamina
Love it.
back, and I'm building towards the weekend, ready to rock and roll in Athens.
We're back, people. We are Joe's back in good health, and that means the big SEC guys are back. You've probably missed us the past few days, so like and subscribe. We're back. Joe, let's do it. Let's dive into the games. Let's do a quick review of the games. I'm talking all the games in like 5 minutes or less. I think we each have some small points. And then let's
Yeah.
uh let's talk about some key topics. I mean, we've got folks, this is a good episode to listen to. We've got,
Breaking
the
news.
new breaking news on John Mateer, the quarterback. We've got the new SEC permanent opponents. We've got future schedules. We've got some teams shaping up to potentially be playoff contenders. A lot to talk about today. So let's go through the games. LSU took care of business, Southeast Louisiana. We don't need to talk about that. Game number 2, Joe, Miami versus Florida, and I'll start if you don't mind. I think Miami's good. I think this Miami team is potentially a playoff team. Um, this Florida offense is atrocious. What happened to DJ Lagway?
Sometimes I make predictions at college football, and I feel like I'm Nostradamus. And sometimes I wonder if I've ever watched a game in my life. I don't know. It's just gotta be a damning referendum on if you miss spring practice and if you
Yeah,
miss part of your preseason, then you just are so far behind the 8 ball. I mean, he looks like a shell of himself. He does not look anything like the quarterback that played in last year.
he looks like he doesn't know how to play quarterback. Folks, if you weren't watching, he was what was he, like 12 for 24? I think he had 60
Oh, and
yards
it was bad,
passing,
man.
and
He had open
it was
receivers. That was
ugly.
the part that was bad. He had guys open in critical
It was
parts of the
ugly.
game, and it just wasn't there.
Not good. Billy Napier's that seat's gotta be piping hot, right?
I
I
think
mean, we're
Billy
we're
might be on the
we're
way out. What a
we're Napier
shame
guys.
too,
That
because
seat's hot.
they're just wasting what is a world-class defense.
Yeah. Oh, that was another takeaway from the game. That Florida defense is good.
So good.
That
So
Florida defense is really
they are
good,
so good. Yeah.
and they are being let down.
Yeah, they
Alright,
are.
let's keep it moving. Um, Texas against Sam Houston. Arch Manning, he's
I was about
back,
to
baby.
say,
All it took was Sam Houston State.
I hope a defensive end needs to turn him upside down for that.
Oh my
So,
gosh. He
that's all I got
was
for that game.
He's got his swagger back, I guess. Alright, this was probably the game of the week between 2 SEC opponents. Obviously, the game of the week was Arkansas-Memphis in terms of excitement, but Auburn, Oklahoma, Joe. I like Oklahoma a lot. I think Oklahoma's really good. I thought Mateer was great. I was kind of impressed with Auburn too, though. How'd you feel?
I was very impressed with Auburn. I gotta say this was my lock of the week in my pick 'em, and I backdoor covered Oklahoma on that safety. So
Love it.
that
Absolutely
was
love
I
it.
mean, that was so great. The best part was, Daniel, Sarah and I are watching the game, and I'm absolutely furious that Oklahoma is not gonna score more points and Auburn's getting the ball back, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna cover 6.5. The only way I had to cover 6.5 is if Oklahoma can get a safety here. And it was like
Yeah.
3 snaps later, they got one. And,
Joe,
just
story
just
time.
amazing. Yeah.
That reminds me, quick story time. So I do this thing with my buddy Alex Brown, who's a professional gambler. It's a company called Splash Sports. This isn't a plug. We're not promoting gambling, any of that stuff. Of course not. But we do these like survivor leagues, and we had we had $5 left over in our account as like a bonus. Thanks for doing a couple different leagues. So for week 4, I did a week 4 $5 buy-in pick 'em. Went 8-0 against the spread. Won the whole thing. And, my best pick, which counts for 2 points, was Oklahoma minus 6.5. So I was watching that game like,
You
"Oh
did
my
too,
gosh,
buddy.
this is gonna be a safety. This is gonna be a
Yep.
safety.
It
This is
I
gonna
mean,
cover."
that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, it's hard for me to ever feel bad about Auburn, but there were some pretty egregious calls. I don't think
Oh,
you
yeah.
can ever really blame a game on the officials. But they had some rough calls/no calls go against them. I thought Auburn's defense looked great. Oklahoma's defensive front is stout. I think they sacked, um, Jackson Arnold like 8, 9 times, and
Oklahoma's defense is nasty. Their D-line's good. I
it'll
love
be
Mateer.
interesting to see, now that breaking news, John Mateer just had hand surgery. It'll be interesting to see what Oklahoma's gonna be doing on offense moving forward, but that defense will travel wherever they go.
I have serious concerns about Oklahoma without Mateer, but
And I don't
that they
know,
can
I will
still
say
win.
it's by the time this gets out, this will be news, but I think it was just breaking on SEC Now before I had the TV on, but I had kids running around everywhere, and so I couldn't hear how long he'll be out, but I'm pretty sure I heard that he will miss some time.
Y Yeah, they announced it about an hour ago, and I saw he's gonna have the, like, little s there's, like, a bone in his hand. He's gonna have the surgery, and he'll be out at least a couple weeks, so can
I'm
they
sure he'll come
survive?
back just in time to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Um,
Probably. He'll come back for the South Carolina game, and they'll score 60
yeah,
points. Perfect.
exactly. Something like
Perfect
that. All
timing.
right. I think listen, I
Well,
think I was impressed with both teams. Both teams at
me
the line
too.
of scrimmage looked good. Oklahoma's defensive front was just a little too much for Auburn, but Auburn against a very good quarterback kept it kept themselves in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Auburn's a handful. I don't know if they're good enough. Our good friend of the podcast, John Mesh, came on and talked about Auburn. I don't know if they're good enough to be the playoff team that he wants them to be, but they are a sporty, sporty team this year. It's gonna give a lot of people a lot of problems, and, I'm not looking forward to going down there in November.
Once again, you've absolutely nailed it. That this Auburn team is not a playoff team. Jackson Arnold's not gonna lead anybody to a playoff, but this is a tough out.
It's a
This
tough
is a
out.
team you don't look forward to playing. You think these guys could beat anyone any given Saturday. I truly believe that. They
The
fared
game
well
might have
against
gone
Oklahoma.
differently down in Auburn than it did in Norman.
100%. Yeah.
It very easily could have bounced the other way.
It's hard to say you're proud of a team when they lose, but I watched that game thinking, this is a good Auburn team. I'm proud of them.
I'll
Ole
never
Miss
be.
takes care of business against Tulane.
Yeah,
I love
hold on,
that
stop there
quarterback,
real quick.
Chambliss.
That's a
Chambliss.
good win in a world where we watched
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas lose to Memphis and we watched Florida lose to South Florida. Tulane has had a good team in over the
They're a good
past
team.
several years, and
Yeah.
Ole Miss beat them like a drum with a backup quarterback.
That backup quarterback's the man, Chambliss.
Yeah.
He runs, he guns, he's
I
fun to
really don't think
watch.
it's a quarterback controversy, though. I still maintain
Yeah,
Simmons at 100% is a better quarterback, but
absolutely.
that's a game football team with Chambliss back there.
That's a that's yeah, he's gotta be the best backup quarterback in the SEC, right? That guy's a dog.
I'm totally with that. Alright,
I like
that covers Ole Miss.
Tennessee.
What have we got
Yep.
left?
Tennes
Missouri and South Carolina, or are you gonna save them for last?
No, I'll run us through them. So Tennessee took care of business against UAB. We don't need to talk about that. Tennessee scored a bunch. Vanderbilt dropped 70 on Georgia State. Oh, baby. Jerry Kill, please, comes help South Carolina. Come do
5-0
something.
Vanderbilt in 2 weeks coming to
Shane Beamer,
Tuscaloosa.
get Jerry Kill somehow. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but find a way to get that man in Columbia. Uh, South Carolina, Missouri. I'm not gonna take too much time on this one. Missouri wins. South Carolina kept it close. I'm absolutely disgusted with the South Carolina offense, Joe. We had -9 rushing yards, and we had 15 penalties. -9 rushing yards. Missouri had, I think, 300 something. That's disgusting. I'm absolutely Mike Shula, that guy
The
seems
worst
like he's
part
a good
about it was,
guy.
Daniel, you
Time to
still
move
had
on.
them and coulda won the game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we kept it close. I just -9 rushing yards with one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in college football. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I was flipping back and forth to that game, and every time I'd watch it for more than about 5, 6 minutes, I'd have to turn it off because I was cheering for South Carolina, and they just kept doing things that were frustrating me.
Yeah.
I I
My
don't I
level of
don't know. It
disgust
seems
is
to
well
me,
known.
watching South Carolina now a couple times, it seems to be some of the marginal games that went their way last year are not going their
No, and
and
we're
when I say
soft.
marginal, I'm talking about where the margin between the 2 teams is so close. Like, they're
Yes.
basically equal, or maybe South Carolina's a little better, maybe the other team's a little bit better, but last year, almost every one of those games, except probably the game in Tuscaloosa, went South Carolina's way. This
Yeah,
year, nothing is the ball's not bouncing the right way for South Carolina.
and we're soft, Joe. Watching that game, we couldn't tackle Ahmad Hardy, Missouri's running back. We couldn't tackle him or Jamal Roberts, the backup. Those guys broke so many tackles, and you know me, I love Lenora Sellers. I think he's the man, but, like, I think he's in total protect my draft stock mode. He was kept running out of bounds for a yard. Like, dude, turn it up, man. Turn it upfield and get some yardage. You're 250 pounds. Like, what are we doing?
I did see a
So,
note that, Beamer had to go run down Dylan Stewart, pull him out of the tunnel, and make him go sing the
yeah. Yeah, Dylan Stewart walked out. He was like, "I'm done." He'll transfer. He's so fed up. Um, I feel bad for him. He's so
maybe he'll
good.
transfer to Alabama.
He'll probably go to Ohio State. They were number
Yeah, that's
2
probably
after
where he's
high
gonna go
school.
somewhere and get paid.
Yeah, but he's
Texas,
so
Texas
good.
A&M, Texas Tech, Ohio State,
Yeah,
Michigan, somewhere like that.
insert Texas school. Yeah, you watch that game and you're like, "Wow, Dylan Stewart's incredible." Like, he gets double teamed and held every play, and he's still in the backfield, but, yeah, I feel bad for him. I'd be fed up too if I was him. Alright, Memphis, Arkansas, Joe. Hello, darkness, my old friend. You wanna start us off?
All I have written down next to this game when I made my notes, I just have a big frowny face because this is the 2nd week in a row. It wasn't a
Absolutely.
guaranteed thing you were gonna beat Ole Miss last week, but that fumble put you out of the game. This one lost you the game. The game was over. Borderline, maybe not shoulda even been trying to score. Maybe shoulda just taken a knee and run the clock
Yeah.
down.
Go turtle mode, yeah.
Kick the field goal. I mean, you were well in there. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than Sam Pittman, you really should be 3-1, possibly 4-0. This is a much better Arkansas team than 2-2, and
Yeah,
Notre
right.
Dame better show up to Fayetteville with with their chin buckled up, buddy, chin strap buckled up
Oh,
because,
they could beat Notre Dame, 100%.
this team
Yeah,
could have totally beat Notre Dame. This
they're gonna be
team could
fired up.
totally beat Tennessee again. There's a lot of teams left on this schedule. As bad as we were to the Hogs in our pregame video, and not to again pull the Nostradamus out, but I did call this Memphis game back in like July.
You did say Memphis would win this game.
I
That
did.
I do remember that.
um, but this is a much better Arkansas team than we gave them credit for. They're much better record. They're a much better team than 2-2. If I've
Yeah,
got Arkansas on my schedule, Auburn, who else do they have to play? Missouri, um, well, even Notre Dame. I'm trying to think hold on. I'll pull this. I got the helmet schedule. If I'm Notre Dame, Tennessee, A&M, Auburn, LSU's another one, Texas, that game at Texas could be really interesting, especially if, Arkansas turns it around and wins some games here.
yeah, that's a
This
fun
is a
little old
team
school rivalry.
all those teams that I just listed off, this Arkansas team can play with any of 'em. They can play with any of 'em.
Yeah,
This is a much better team than their record. So that's my note. So, Arkansas fans,
I
if you've
agree.
stuck with us for this long, we're
Don't give up on us.
don't give up on us and don't let your team give up on Pittman. He actually might have something this year.
I agree. I think this is a pretty good team, and you hate to lose the way they did. Yeah, that's sort of a make or break thing. Hopefully, they'll recover nicely. I wrote down one thing during that game. I sent a text to a buddy and I said, "Sam Pittman, South Carolina's next offensive line coach?" Question mark. So if for some reason, if things go south and he gets canned, come to South Carolina, be our offensive line coach because he's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, folks. So would love to have him. And finally, how about our Bulldogs? Mississippi State 4-0, Joe, just like
Undefeated,
we thought.
undefeated Jeff Levy.
Undefeated, never lost.
Yep. Undefeated Jeff Levy hosting Tennessee, and buddy, 4:15 kickoff. The cowbells are gonna be belling, and,
Man.
Tennessee, this is a moment for Tennessee here this coming weekend. I don't
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
jump too far into talking about future games, but they better come ready to play. Not that Mississippi State is actually that much better than them or as good as them, but you cannot it's hard to win on the road in the SEC, and you cannot start out 0-2 in the SEC. Can't do it.
And do you know who Jeff Lebby's mentor is by chance?
Hmm.
Josh Heupel, Tennessee's coach.
I
He's
thought he
part of the
came from
Heupel tree.
I thought he came from the Lane Train.
Well, he did. So he's part of the Lane Kiffin tree. He was Lane's offensive coordinator, but his first coaching job was with Heupel at Oklahoma, and they love each other.
Ah,
Yeah,
look out,
they're super close.
look out. I mean,
Oh boy.
oh boy, I'm
Oh
telling
boy. So
you,
that's a fun little thing.
5-0 start for Mississippi State was not on my bingo card this year.
That was not on my SEC bingo card as well. All right, folks, that's it. Those are the games. We got through those pretty quickly. Love it. Let's talk about some permanent opponents. Joe, you wanna hit the highlights? Maybe walk us through how you're feeling about Alabama. I'll do the same for South Carolina, and then maybe we'll just touch on a few others quickly. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's good. So I'll say something real quick thematically. You know, thematically through all the permanent opponents, it looks like they really made an emphasis on your end of year traditional rival and then
Yeah.
that one middle of the season rival. So for Alabama, that's Auburn and Tennessee. But it looked
I
like
call
they
them,
did
like,
that
soft rivals.
consistently. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did that consistently top to bottom. And then they tried to use that third permanent opponent to maybe even it up a little bit. Um,
100%.
for some teams that, that might be getting it pretty hard. So I sit here and look at
Example,
Alabama.
Auburn,
Yeah, Auburn, yeah, they tried.
Georgia,
They threw
Alabama.
Vandy in there, but, I don't know if Pavia gets another year that he's filed for. I think Vanderbilt might be hard out next year too.
Oh my gosh. Woof.
But, for Alabama, it's a non-starter for me to talk about permanent opponents that don't include Auburn and Tennessee. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
those are, I wake up every day hating folks. So, that's great to see. Mississippi State, that's fair. I did see where we're playing LSU next year anyways. So, that was a popular everybody wanted, LSU to be on Alabama's, but for LSU and Bama, that would have been a pretty tough row to hoe if you had us on each other's
Oh, yeah.
permanently. So, Mississippi State, Bama, Mississippi State, Tuscaloosa and Starksville, they're closest two SEC schools to each other by mileage. We've played them, I don't know how many times, but ton over the years. So, I mean, I think they played annually every year. In fact, this is the first time I think we haven't played Mississippi State. Um, Golly, I don't know. I mean, I think it goes back to basically the start of the conference. So,
Yeah.
it's a traditional annual opponent. I think that's great. It'll be great to see them back on the schedule, but I think it's pretty fair. The only thing that really stuck out to me from top to bottom is somebody that got it pretty easy. Tennessee comes out smelling like a rose.
Oh
They
my
got
gosh,
they got
man.
Bama, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. Um, I
Well,
really hate
honestly,
say that
Vandy,
again?
like, Vandy came out pretty good.
Vandy came out pretty good. But
Tennessee, Mississippi State, Auburn. That's very
I mean,
fair.
listen, it's all about where you think Vanderbilt's going from here. Is Clark Lee gonna be there? Is Jerry Kill gonna be there long term?
Yeah.
Are they gonna be able to recreate this Pavia magic, or is this a a blip on the
Magic
radar for a
year.
couple years?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But Tennessee comes out smelling like a rose, but that's you got these teams like Tennessee, they don't really have traditional rivals. I mean, I would argue Tennessee's biggest rival is Bama, um,
Or Georgia.
or Georgia or Florida.
Yeah.
Um, and so that kinda throws a wrinkle into the plan, but I don't have any problems. After looking at all the permanent opponents, I don't have any issues. And I did see where they've now announced the next 4 years, rotating opponents. Um, I
Yep.
find it odd that we have 4 holdovers from this year's schedule next year. I find it odd we're playing Georgia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and, LSU, I understand keeping them on there. But the other 3, Vanderbilt, Georgia, and South Carolina, I find it odd that they held those over for next year, but I think 9 SEC games is gonna be a great thing for the conference, and it's gonna make the schedule parity a lot.
Yeah. I like that. Oh, we might have a little special guest here. You
Uh-oh.
wanna get on the pod? You want a pod? What'd you bring? Alright, folks. Special guest on the pod
Oh,
right
look
here.
at the buddy.
Say something, Whit. Say something. How do you feel about South Carolina's schedule? Alright, Whit's being shy, but I feel good about all of the permanent opponents, Joe, but specifically South Carolina. We get Georgia back. I get it. Georgia's good. That's a tough out. But oh boy. Oh no. He's found the mic. He's found the microphone, folks. I'm glad we get Georgia back. I think that's a fun, like, soft rivalry. Kentucky's the worst team in the SEC, so I'm thrilled with that. And then Florida. Florida's, their trajectory's down, so I'm
Yeah.
happy. You were
Yeah,
being
I did think
crazy.
the Florida, South Carolina selection was interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Thought that was interesting. I could have seen, I mean, you had Tennessee sitting right there with where I think you coulda are y'all playing Kentucky also? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, they're our 3rd
You're their 3rd?
permanent,
Yeah,
which I'm thrilled about that one.
yeah, I would be too. Yeah, I thought the Florida, South Carolina was a little odd, but, they played each other all those years over in the East.
Yeah, Spurrier rivalry, maybe?
Maybe. No.
Love that.
But you're right on the trajectory of Florida. Maybe Billy survives this year, but I think Billy's time's coming to a close.
I think his clock's ticking. I think his clock is ticking. Yeah, the Florida thing surprised me, Joe, just because. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously not a traditional SEC rivalry, but,
Mm-mm.
we got the Spurrier thing in common and, we're classic SEC East type rivals, so
Yeah.
I'm, uh, I'm okay with that one. That one's interesting with sorta their current trajectory. Kentucky is, in my opinion, the worst team and has the worst future in the SEC, so
Yeah,
that feels
so
good.
I don't even know, I mean, what do you do as Kentucky? I mean, everybody would be clamoring for Stoops' job, but who are you gonna hire that's gonna have more success?
Yeah, that's the issue. Mark Stoops is a good coach, so
He's
it's
a
like,
good
who
coach,
who's
I think
gonna do
he's just
better?
having a hard time adapting to this new age, but it's not like they're gonna hire somebody and take resources from basketball and give it to football, so
No. That's the problem too with, like, the revenue share. They're gonna be doing half and half with basketball, and everyone else is gonna do 90% football. Not good. Not good. Alright, Joe, what are you thinking? Let's talk SEC playoff teams. How many of these SEC teams do you think can make the playoffs? Let me hear it.
I need to know how long Mateer's out for with Oklahoma. I think Georgia has to like where they're sitting.
Yeah.
I think Texas is a fraud. I think LSU has to like where they're sitting. But the winner of that LSU Ole Miss game is on the path. Um,
100%.
I would have said with Mateer at quarterback, Oklahoma has a pretty doable path, but now you don't know. I mean, with Mateer out, they're off this week. They play Kent State. I mean, I guess they're thinking he'll be back by the Texas game because I have them smashing Texas with Mateer at
Oh, yeah.
quarterback. But
100
if he's
yeah,
not
I
playing
agree.
that Texas game, that's gonna be tough. Um, you know, I think
Joe, can I
A&M's
give you
probably got I think if you're looking at our most realistic teams to go to the playoff right now is A&M, Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, and then maybe Oklahoma. Of course, Missouri's schedule has them right there in the conversation. I mean, if Missouri goes to Atlanta, they're probably going to the playoff.
Joe, that's exactly where I'm going. So I thought about this when putting my list together. You've got the ones that I think are sort of obvious right now, right? Anybody who watches college football would say LSU, Georgia, and Oklahoma, assuming Mateer's back and healthy in time. Like those look like three obvious college football playoff teams. No one's going to debate that. So I feel really good about those three. Once again, with the caveat of Mateer's health. I think Texas A&M has a chance to make it. I think this is a pretty good Texas A&M team. They
They've
they
got
need to
one of the
figure some
better
things
wins on
out,
their
but
resume.
they sure do. I need to see more from Texas. I've got Texas sort of on if I had to do like a little bubble, I'd have Texas out. I'd
Texas I think Texas
probably have Ole Miss out. I think Ole Miss is good. I don't think they're playoff good. I think Tennessee's close. I think Tennessee could make the playoffs. This looks like a pretty good team. And then here are the 2 where people are really gonna not like this. I think there's a shot a Vandy or a Missouri could sneak in there. I mean, these are 2 good-looking football teams, Joe.
Vanderbilt
Am I
looks good.
crazy?
Let me throw you a little scenario here. Alabama gets beat this weekend by Georgia, and is 2-2 with 5-0 Vanderbilt coming to town. And if you've
Yeah.
listened to us, I've probably said 8 or 9 times on here that even if Vanderbilt wasn't very good this year and we were really good, their offense is gonna give us fits.
Yeah.
It's just a bad schematic matchup for us. A 5-0 Vanderbilt coming to Tuscaloosa, they could win that game, and then you're looking at them having a week off before they host LSU.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it sounds crazy to say, it's possible. It's possible.
I think so too.
And when you look at Missouri's schedule, same
Oh,
scenario,
Missouri's got
right?
the magic carpet path. They've got an easy path.
They same scenario. So they just beat South Carolina at home. They're gonna play UMass. They're gonna be 5-0. They're off, and they're gonna have Alabama coming to town after playing Georgia and Vanderbilt back to back. Um, you win that game, you gotta go to Auburn, you gotta go to Vanderbilt, which the Vanderbilt game looks tougher and tougher. But A&M State, at Oklahoma, at Arkansas, there's not a
All
game on
winnable.
there where you would say definitively you're gonna lose that football,
Yeah. I agree.
you know,
I mean,
especially running the football like they're running it.
I can't wait to see all this all pans out.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Joe,
it's super interesting. I did notice that neither of us said the word Alabama or South Carolina.
well, South Carolina's already out. They're out. Yeah, Alabama, that's an interesting one.
I
That's an
I
interesting one.
will, and this is not to get too much into a preview. Before the season started, I would have told you this game was way more important for Georgia to win this weekend than for Alabama. Um, However, with the way the schedule is playing out and with Alabama already having a loss, if you lose on Saturday night and you have to go back home and play a Vanderbilt team that you know is gonna be a tough style to play against, and then you gotta go on the road and play at Missouri, who'll be undefeated coming off a bye week. You gotta come home and host Tennessee, and is Tennessee also coming off a bye week? I don't think so. No, they're not.
Not
They're
sure.
coming off playing Arkansas. But you have to host Tennessee, then turn around and go to South Carolina before your second bye, and then you have LSU, Oklahoma, and at Auburn on top of that. That the chances of you getting it together enough to win out from a 2-2 start and win the next 8 games are minuscule. They're
It's
minuscule.
impossible. Yeah.
It's
That's where
not
I'm
gonna
at with
happen.
South Carolina. We've already got
It
2 losses, so we're done.
so you've got this weekend for Alabama, the lack of urgency that was so prevalent in Tallahassee, it's got to be completely reversed. It's gotta be you have to the sense of urgency has to be through the roof, and there has to be a level of effort and just you cannot allow yourself to get beat.
I agree. Alright, Joe, let's keep it moving. Give me your SEC Heisman favorite so far through 4 weeks. Third of the way through, who's your favorite?
I mean,
Other than John Mateer.
I was about to say you had to say Mateer,
Other than John Mateer.
but it
John
looks like
Mateer's the obvious one, folks.
yeah, I mean, he's the obvious one for a reason. Uh,
I've
Behind
got
him,
2.
I don't really have a kid from the SEC that I think will win the Heisman.
Alright, I've got 2. One is a reasonable take. I think Marcel Reed's starting to make an interesting case, the Texas
Okay.
A&M
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah.
He's got good stats, and if Texas A&M is gonna establish themselves as a playoff team, I could see him in that conversation. He's the quarterback, the dual threat, he's the leader, so he's an interesting one, and then this is the other and, like, you look at the Vegas odds on Heisman's, and this guy's not even he's not even, like, the top 30 or 40, he's not even on the page. Why is Diego Pavia not being talked about as a
I
potential
don't know, that's a
Heisman?
great one, though. That's a
What
great one.
what are we talking about? Like,
Yeah.
he is
What are his
He's
stats look
so
like?
good. I mean, his stats aren't crazy, but they're good.
But they're yeah,
I mean, he rushing and passing, he's probably averaging close to 300 yards passing and close to, I don't know, 75 yards rushing a game. Like, those are he's gotta have pretty good stats. And if Vanderbilt keeps winning, like, how do you keep that guy out of New York? You can't.
I don't I
You
mean,
cannot.
Vanderbilt is going to the playoff okay, if Vanderbilt's gonna play for the SEC championship or has just
He's
played
gotta
for
win
the
the
SEC
Heisman.
championship,
Give him the
he
Heisman.
has to be in the conversation.
Yes,
He
yes.
has to.
If they're gonna be in the playoff conversation, I think he has to be in the Heisman conversation.
Daniel, how will you
Oh,
feel as a South Carolina fan if Vanderbilt wins a SEC title before South Carolina?
yeah, that would be rough. Yeah, that'd be rough. We still have that sweet, sweet ACC title, baby, 1969. That's one more than Miami, folks. I'm gonna keep harping on that.
There
It
you
is one
go.
more ACC
Good
championship with
comeback.
Miami.
That's a
Good
good comeback.
comeback.
Yeah,
Alright,
I'm not sure the Heisman's gonna come out of the SEC this year.
I don't think
Um,
so either.
I would like to revisit your take on all these number 1 draft picks we had floating around the SEC at quarterback.
That's not dead yet.
That's
Still
not dead
alive.
yet. It's not dead yet, but
John Mateer, he could go number 1. I mean, sell did you see that they
do you
did the
think Mateer's game translates to the NFL?
no, but people fell in love with Baker Mayfield, and he's basically Baker
And
Mayfield, so that's gonna help.
yeah.
But did you see they did the NFL does this, like, 30 they do this, like, 32 scout thing, and a guy does a mock draft every quarter of the college football season, so game 4, game 8, game 12, and then national championship,
Mhm.
and he talks to all 32 scouts to try to get an idea. So that came out yesterday, and Lenora Sellers was the number 1 pick.
Was he?
30 of 32 scouts had
He's
him as the
good.
number 1 pick.
I feel for Lenoris that the same thing that
Yeah,
I said when we
no
talked about
offensive
South
line.
Carolina preseason is I he's a great quarterback. I just think everybody around him is gonna let him down.
Yeah, but my take's alive. Lenore Sellers goes number 1, boom, my
Yeah, you'll
take's
be right.
alive.
You'll be right.
And then
Hey,
Austin
I
Simmons
will
goes
tell you,
crazy next year, boom,
it
now
is
it's on.
so early in his starting career, um,
Oh, his
but
ceiling's unbelievable.
I'm changing from Lenoris real quick. So early in his starting career, but Ty Simpson's like 44 or 47 in his last 2 games. I don't care about the level of competition. That's tough to do on air.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Um,
yeah.
Georgia's weakness is their secondary, and win or lose, I expect him to put up pretty good numbers unless we can't keep him off the ground.
Little Ty
Um,
Simpson coming out party maybe. I like that.
and well, I'm not necessarily talking for this year, but could be playing himself into a decent little draft stock for next year coming out. He very
Oh,
well
yeah.
could be, one of these guys that ends up playing himself into that what would it be, the 2027 draft? Um,
There you go.
conversation is a yeah,
My prediction is alive and well.
there you go. So, just another bullet
Alright,
for your
folks.
gun.
Another another bullet for my chamber.
Yeah.
Let's finish the week. Big SEC guys versus the AI. I know what you're thinking. The big SEC guys did well against the spread this week, folks. We were 5-1. The AI was 3-3. So the big SEC guys have taken a commanding lead. We had Miami covering, never a doubt. That was an easy cover. We had Oklahoma covering. Thankfully, that safety put us over the top. Oklahoma, love it. We had South Carolina covering. I mean, that was an easy one. Like 12.5 is so many points.
Mhm.
Sorry, there's something on my camera. 12.5, so many points. So that was an easy cover. Joe predicted it, and Joe even said, these guys are going to win straight up. Memphis. We had Memphis beating Arkansas. So 4-0 in the SEC. And then we won we do a chaos game. We won that one. And then our top 25 game, Indiana versus Illinois. Everybody knows it. We're Kurt Signetti people in Indiana. That was a
Woo!
comfortable cover.
They took care of business, didn't they?
So the big SEC guys like Indiana took care of business this week. AI, you got to step up. The AI's got to step up, Joe. It's proof. The AI can't defeat two experts like us.
We'll see, it's early season.
They did last
AI
week, but not
continues
this
to
week.
learn,
We're
we
back.
continue to confuse ourselves.
Yeah, good point. AI can do power rankings in 2 seconds, and we can only tell you 11 teams when
I
we
did
try to
no
do a
power
power ranking.
rankings. I did no power rankings this week.
No, me neither. I've
Um,
given up on that after our
but
awful performance
I will
last week.
tell you, we can revisit this is a big week of college football coming up.
Yeah,
Big week in the
100%.
SEC. This is a put up, shut up
Vehemently.
week. We'll have power rankings next week. I can confirm that Florida and Alabama are still my 15 and 16 for right
Yeah,
now.
go
But
ahead and put South Carolina at 14 for me.
there we go. So 14, 15,
Better.
16 are our 3 favorite teams going into the season. So,
Are locked in.
yeah.
Are locked in. All right, Joe. Well, that's it. Good episode. Until
Sounds good.
next time.
Yes,
See
sir.
ya.